Welcome to the Social Shifters podcast. I am Jemiah, Digital Communications Manager here, and we are joined again by the fantastic Stanley of LightEd. So please tune in, be sure to subscribe, like and share, tell a friend to tell a friend, and thank you again for watching and listening. So yeah, Stanley, it's great to have you back. Thank you for coming back onto the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. So there's obviously been a lot going on since you've won. How would you describe the Global Refugee Challenge right now?
First of all, I think the Global Refugee Challenge is one of very interesting challenges I've participated in. Not only the type of ideas that were the finalists, because they were really, really amazing ideas that made it to the finals. And I remember getting to the finals and I was thinking, oh, am I going to even make it to top one of this whole thing? Because these are really great ideas that are impacting refugees in really amazing and creative ways. And in general, I find the challenge interesting because it's at a point of need.
Yes.
It is a current time where we see people being displaced and rapidly, and the numbers are increasing yearly and even on a daily basis with war, climate change, and so many factors affecting that displacement of people in different regions. But primarily, I see the challenge as something that is needed at the right time, and I see it as something that would inspire other solutions to step up, because I have seen people trying to design their solutions into a way so that they could apply for the challenges, so that they could be able to make impacts for refugees in different situations. So I see it as a movement to create change, but also to inspire change as well.
Yeah, no, amazing. That makes total sense. So with that said, since how do you kind of view, I guess, the global issue of refugees and the need for their help at the moment?
I would speak from my work in Nigeria. Generally, I think we often assume we know what they need. We often think we know what refugees need, and we think they just need food, and primarily most of them just need a proper education for their kids. They probably just want a really good housing for themselves, something more independent that they can move around with, or something like that. But I also see the global refugee situation at the moment, even internally displaced people, is that they are misunderstood. The problem is under-communicated.
Yes.
I've seen a few documentaries and it doesn't cover the dark secrets of what happened within refugee camps. And I think if we had a proper storytelling process of what happens when they are being displaced to living in those camps, and what happens to the solutions that they are being deployed. I'm not going to lie about this, because sometimes if you deploy solutions, you hope it works, but you find out it doesn't work because you didn't communicate properly, and it's a constant learning process. So I feel like the global refugee situation has to be dealt from a peer-to-peer solution ideation process with the solution providers and the refugees, in order to find a perfect sync for solutions.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. So I guess obviously you spoke about sometimes the storytelling there isn't always the best, and there's some things that aren't said, and there's a lot of assumptions and so on. How do you think the best way is to go about to educate yourself on, I guess, what refugees really need?
I think something that, because this is something we're working on at LightEd, we are looking towards before the first quarter of 2025, we are looking to start a documentary, and the documentary is going to be telling a story directly of a particular young boy that we met, and him to tell his story as a refugee. And the aim for that is allow them to tell their stories, allow them to communicate what they go through, unfiltered. In that way, you tend to spark change, because we went to this refugee camp. We provided them access to our lamps. We had the kids build these lamps. We found out when we came back, the kids have probably replaced the batteries in the lamps and found another battery. And they prefer this battery because they put it in themselves. And that constantly helps us to evolve the way we design our solutions for them. Allowing the refugees to be part of the design process, the part of the building process, But the best part is allow them to tell their own stories. We just have to provide them with the platform, with the tools they need to tell their stories. And this is something that we're looking forward. We want to start with one story, and hopefully that story creates more change. And more of our impact projects at LightEd are focused around like the Light for Peace project. That was the winner for the Global Refugee Challenge. And we want to tell that story in a way that it comes from a particular boy and his challenge, and the way lack of access to energy has affected him in general, and what he sees his future as. Because we often think refugees are just people running from their
Yeah.
homes, and no, their dads, their moms, their kids that have dreams. They have people that are super talented.
Yeah.
They have people that I've seen someone that if he's given the opportunity, he would be a really good mechanic, and he's just a refugee.
Yeah.
And there's so many skills there. There's so many intelligent people. I met this lady in one of our documentary for the project that we did. Her English was so fluent, and not because she has to speak English technically, but because she reads novels, she reads books, and she's super smart, super enlightened.
Yeah.
She understands the basic fundamentals of how energy is being produced. And I'm like, wow. So, yeah, in the future, LightEd is looking to create kind of a creative space for refugees, but it's going to take time, but definitely we're going to get there. And that space will allow them to share their stories different ways and different, yeah.
Yeah, I love that, and I think like you said, there's almost you forget about all the talent and skills and the abilities
Yeah.
of all these people who've been displaced, and also like adversity. Usually, it can bring out the best of us, and so overcoming that with your talent and your skills and stuff. That's what you see a lot of. I guess when you look across the business world, sports world, etc., a lot of people coming from hardship
Yeah.
rising to the top because they've had to almost rise like a phoenix. So now that's really lovely. So I guess like since the challenge and since you winning the Global Innovation Challenge and the Global Refugee category in particular, what was the most interesting thing you've learned about yourself in the last year?
That's a very interesting question. So I found out like I had a lot to learn. And that's quite why I'm in London for like a month. I I want to learn in a way that I design better.
Nice.
Currently, I'm interning at like Pentagram Design Studios, and it is amazing because I'm working with a team that has one of the best, or even like best designers in the industrial design industry, and these people and the work they do create impact in different ways. And I found out like product design is not just like product design. It takes a lot. I used to think like, yeah, you could sketch an idea and you could like go to the workshop and you're gonna do it. And I found that there is more to the process than you could actually know when it comes to designing products that actually go to the market.
Yeah.
So, and products that people use. Although my product design philosophy might differ from probably design studio, but still I'm trying to learn more. So I think since the challenge, we received the funding, and I remember what we did first, which was part of the budget we had, is allocating training, and we've sent out like majority of our tech guys to art trainings,
Oh,
and
nice.
the reason is we wanted them to have this different perspective when it comes to building and designing.
Yeah.
Working with different artists. One of our, I think our CTO, yes, our CTO, his name is weirdly also Stanley. Went for like a training with the US Embassy with working with architects and artists, and the experience he got there has a different view on the way he communicates tech to different people. And that's also what I'm here doing in London. And then we are also designing the new solutions that we hope to deploy before the end of August, which is going to be absolutely brilliant with the videos that and the content that we're going to share out about the work and the stories that happen during the work. So, but honestly, yeah, I think since the challenge, it's been about slowing down,
Nice.
learning,
Okay.
understand you don't know everything. You might have one, doesn't mean your idea is the best.
Oh.
So that is a point of like, okay, I really understand that You might win the best. You might win, but if you for a moment decide to soak in, you should celebrate your wins, of course. But once you soak in to that win, I think it defeats the whole process of growth, and that's a problem. So, yeah, I think since winning the challenge in the past 2-3 months, it's been around slowing down, learning, and learning in so many different directions, storytelling wise, design wise, communications, team building. We have onboarded like 2 new people to our teams, both in communications, and we're looking to get someone in digital skills like website and all those stuff. We want to make LightEd more of a very diverse community. Although our impact is like solely focused in Nigeria, but we want to make our team a super diverse team. In the future, like I said, LightEd is more than this. I always used to say this, and it sounds like super cliche at this point. LightEd is more than just a solar organization or anything. It is more than that, and because we know why we started that, and why we started this was not just to create impact in lack of access to energy, but to create impact in creativity when it comes to energy solutions, creativity when it comes to clean tech solutions. And that's why at LightEd, our ideas and our solutions rapidly evolve. You could see a different product deployed, like 3,000 units of lamps. The next 5 weeks, you see a different version of that lamp. And what we did is we learned from the previous one, because you're producing locally and because you've designed a production process that's local and costs like quarter the price when you import that solution from China, and our space is solar powered. It gives us that flexibility to redesign and readapt and test. So learning, relaxing, and hopefully we are going to come back with a big boom. And we are also making partners, having new partners that are deploying energy solutions or different solutions in refugee camps. So one of our partners that we recently got is doing a housing project for refugees, like that allows refugees to build their own houses from recycled materials. And that's something that we are working with them, providing those houses access to energy. So we are trying to see how do we work with different stakeholders to create a utopia. There's one IDP camp currently in Nigeria, in Makodi. My vision for that camp is to make it look like a moon base.
Oh, no.
Like it's going to look like a moon base from the future, from like a comic book or something. Like it has to look futuristic. The houses are going to be individually solar powered in a very unique design that people will be like, are you sure that's a refugee camp? It could be like a very nice base or something. So yeah, that's the future. I think the future is about how fast can refugees move? How fast can they settle? And how fast can they change the location if needed? Because they don't have those stations are temporal. So you have to design those stations in a way that it's ready to adapt to any change at any point in time. So yeah.
No, I love that. When you said that about that base at the end of being futuristic, it just made me think of like Wakanda.
Yeah. you know the at the outskirts of Wakanda, the huts and ideas, that kind of concept, like very, very African-centric design that leverages on African designs from African architecture and design that into a futuristic way. It adapts to current technology.
No,
So,
I love that.
Yeah.
Ryan Coogler will be knocking at your door. So, what is one thing that you're really proud of that you accomplished in your life?
Yeah, I'm a bit of an overachiever, but that's a very interesting question. Wow. I think I'm proud of a lot of things I have done. I think it's something I make sure, even at the office, we do not dwell on our wins, but we do draw pride from different things. I think something I'm proud of is being able to wake up and do what I love. It's painful, really extremely. If someone tells you that you are going to enjoy doing what you love, it is it is extremely painful to do what you love, because you might be broke doing that. You
Yeah.
might get broke doing what you
yeah,
love. But the truth is doing what you love smartly. And something I love is we found a way to do what we love. And when I mean we, I mean I and my teammates. We started like in high school and everything. We still like rocking and rolling together, and
Yeah.
we are doing what we
that.
love. One of my colleagues, he's actually started a project for biogas and
Okay.
using waste. Like that's a separate thing he's doing on his own. And
Oh, wow.
and sometimes he didn't tell me about it, and I saw it. I was like, dude, I am proud of you, because I was hoping that we all have that mindset, doing something together, but individually we are creating change in our own different passions. I'm not passionate about biogas. It's not something I would put my time into. So I am proud of having a team that wakes up and are ready to do the work regardless of the pain it brings us. But I'm also proud of the people that we impact. If you've watched any LightEd video and you see the reactions of the women and how they sing in those videos, you want to cry. Sometimes I told one of my editing guys, could you remove some of those clips? It's too much. That would overload anyone, because it's something like in this room. Like this room is super lighted right now, right?
Yeah.
Dude, if you would give one of those ladies just a single LED to light up their tent, just a blink of light, that is not like fire or anything. The way they celebrate that, it gives you like some sense of, man, I am very ungrateful.
Yeah.
Like you are very ungrateful. Like your life is like really in a good place, that we should wake up and be grateful. Like I am living a good life compared to some of them would even want to have your worst day. Because you can't even emphasize on like a lot on what they are doing, what their life is like. So yeah, I think bringing smiles on people's faces with just light, and I think that's why we have the name LightEd. It's very, very simple. We were like thinking of names, and we were just like, let's just go with LightEd, and we're like, okay, that works. And we checked. I was like, no one has taken that name, LightEd. How? And that just like we went with it. And LightEd, the beauty of the name LightEd itself is like it connects with everything. So I'm also proud of that as well. I'm proud of the name of the organization and what the organization stands for. And yeah, hopefully like in the next 5 years, I shouldn't be still at LightEd. I might be doing something else. I don't know. We can't predict the future, but I want to grow the organization to a point that it grows bigger than myself.
No, so much, and I really like the thing you said about the kind of perspective and gratitude, and how some of the ladies, the women, react when you give them the light and stuff. It's just, that's as you were saying, I was thinking, okay, cool, gratitude and perspective is something I can deepen myself. So no, I really like that. So you mentioned your team, and I love the fact that you said your team as well there, because I think it's like your own team of Avengers. Like, that's a couple Starks here, like working on these cool things like biogas and everything else. And can you tell us a bit more about your team, like how many members there are of you, and a bit more about
So on the tech team, we have a couple of I think they're up to 7. We do have like full time, and we have like 3 full-time people, Stanley and Steven. I'm mentioning their name. Shout out to you guys, are the real heroes. But yeah, they work on the tech and they stay in the production space. But when we have like a lot of production, we work with like partners, and we work with people that just come into the space and help in the production process. Our production process is very simple. We collect, we sort out, we check for quality, and we make sure everything is checked. Then we set out a week for printing and everything, and once it's done, we can produce like up to like 400, 500 units of our lamps in a week, and that's just like in a very small room. And thinking about the future when we're able to like scale, and also thanks to social shifters, it's also like part of the funding that we got. We're going to use that to get our new production space. Thinking about the future, we are going to do way more than what we're doing at this point, and more especially around social impact. But the truth is, we have a super team when it comes to the tech team. Like I would literally like go to sleep at night knowing that these guys could produce a lot of solutions without even me being there. Sometimes with the design process, we have more designers, creative tech guys than we have engineering, electronics core. I think Stanley is more of the engineering guy. I think I'm saying Stanley. It's weird whenever I say like Stanley. Stanley's another guy. I'm Stanley as well. We have a lot of
You're
Stanleys.
not talking about
Yeah, I'm
yourself
not
in
talking
third
about
person.
myself. Yeah, yeah. I've had a lot of like issues around that. But yeah, we have Sidikat, we have Yuli, and we have Aurora. Aurora and Yuli are my
Yeah.
co-founders.
Okay.
But they are currently on an advisory board.
Yes.
We have Sidikat. Sidikat is in charge of our communications. If you've seen LightEd social media going well right now, it's because of her. She's like doing an amazing work getting our, because I don't think we had that strength before. We are onboarding new people, but majority of we have like almost 32 people within our pipeline, but those numbers are around part-time, people that work with us, people that, then we have a lot of volunteers, especially when it comes to the implementation projects. So yeah, I think we have around 32 people that
32?
work with. Yeah, 32, but just full time is around like 8 people. So 32 around our volunteering pipelines. We have been able to retain them. I don't know how they keep on coming back, but I think it's one thing with like volunteering with LightEd on site. I'm not going to say online. On site is you get to like travel to those camps. You get to experience new people, new food. And that's one of the reasons I love travel. I actually feel sad like I don't travel to the camps anymore because I love that new experience, meeting people, working with people. It gives you this really nice feeling that sometimes we are human beings, we get like tired, we get depressed or something, or we get like emotional. And whenever I go for those camps and do those projects, not only am I drowning myself in work, it's not like work. It's more of like you feel like you're saving someone. You're not like saving, but you're at least doing something that changes, that makes yesterday worse than today. More of like you're making today better than yesterday. Yeah, you put it in that term, it sounds better. So yeah, that's it. Yeah.
No, I love that, and it makes sense what you said there at the end, because there's more happiness in giving than receiving. So yeah, that makes total sense. So like, so many people they've got an idea, they're trying to grow things. You know, they might be just social entrepreneurs, creatives, or anything else. Like, you know, you've mentioned your team and how great they are. How, like, what advice would you give to someone in terms of they're trying to find great people to work with, their own team of Avengers?
I don't know if anyone of like, if you're listening to this and you've watched the Avengers movie, you would know how messy it was to put the Avengers together. That's how it is in real life.
It's
like,
true.
It is quite messy to find the right people. You might not even find the right people. It just, I think if you start with the people that are passionate with, like, about what you're doing, in that sense, you might be able to like grow that vibe. But I think setting the right tone for your organization in the way you communicate, the workspace, the energy you have around, you have to create a space or an organization that people would want to work there. Like, people would crave, even if they got a better offer, they would still want to be at your organization. So I think, it's about the energy, but then you also, not about people wanting, it's about you and the quality of people you get. So I'm going to like give this advice I got from one of my mentors. Nice. He said, Stanley, you do not need to get the best of the best. You just need to find someone willing to learn.
Love it.
That's it.
Ain't that the truth?
That's the truth.
That's
find
the truth.
Someone that is passionate, someone that is ready to turn up, but they are also ready to learn, and they can find people that are very versatile. Like for me, I do storytelling, I do video editing, I write the scripts for some of our documentaries, I design, I work with the tech team, our communications, I also do financing and calculation. So as a founder, you have to technically be everywhere at the same time. But at the same time, learning how to let go when you get the people. Because sometimes as founders, this has happened to me as well. I bring on someone, I'm not even giving them the space to like explore, because I really, this is how we've been doing it. But you're bringing that person in to give their own perspective. So I think always giving people space to contribute. Something I learned this year, honestly, I didn't learn that quite long ago. Like, learned it this year, give people space. give them space to feel ownership of the organization
Yeah.
in some sense, not too much, but in some sense.
Yeah.
In that way, they feel like it's not just yours, it's also theirs, and they should make it grow as well. Yeah.
No, I love that last bit, because I think it's so important, because you want them to be invested,
Yeah.
like you said. So if they have that sense of ownership, they could be like, okay, this is my thing. I'm gonna try and make it work, make it happen.
Yeah, yeah.
So I guess there's always challenges, just in just life, let alone the professional world as well. So I guess, like, what kind of challenges, firstly, do you face as an organization?
Where do I start? There are a lot of them. But I'll start with, like, I think a lot of people think you need a lot of funding to start. It's a lie. You could have a lot of funding and mess it up, like,
Yeah, that's true.
real quick. Like, and one thing with funding is it depends on what are you using it for. Like, first funding we got like $35,000, and I was like, damn, that's a lot of money. It's a lie. It's not a lot of money when you put it into work. Like, we had to, like, set our production space, bought solar panels for the production space. We did kind of a spend it now and have a long term saving, which is helping us right now. Like, our production space, we pay around $500 a year for rent.
Wow.
That's like really cheap. Like,
Yeah,
and it's
that
like
is.
a 3-room apartment,
Wow.
and that's like really cheap. And we're like, it's solar powered, and we don't pay for grid electricity, and it's like really nice and a good spot. Then we've cut out on electricity bills. We have a cheap rent, not cheap, like affordable rent. Everything is proper. But then the challenge was around funds management, and as regards to allocation of fund, how do you properly allocate funds to match your future plans? So those are things that we had to learn along the way. I'm not saying like anyone is like perfect. So in the beginning, I think we invested in, like, I think we got like up to 3 laptops for the office.
Nice.
And that was to help the guys learn new skills, coding, join Zoom meetings, learn, like, do online trainings. And I think something I learned is investing. If you do not invest in the people that work for you, when I mean investing, I mean like in knowledge wise and skill wise. If they don't grow, the organization stays where it is.
It's true.
So I think something I really learned was early on is invest in people. But yeah, the challenges we had is like financials, like knowing more about financials. Like, we had issues even receiving the funds for the social shifters. Took us like 2 months because we didn't. Our former bank account had issues. We had to open another one. We didn't understand the process. It took us 2 months to get that sorted out. And at the point, I was like, I think social shifters might not give us the funding again. But the truth is, it's around knowing more around finance. That was the challenge we had.
Yeah.
And that's something that we're still learning a lot about. Then another thing is as regards to team building, finding the right people, learning how to manage a team. I shout out to like my teammates now, especially like our CEOs, like our CCO, Onyi Sidikat. She's like doing a really good job when it comes to like knowing how to like push me to like have a proper organizational structure for us, and that's very important. So yeah, I think financial knowledge and team building, that was the proper challenges we had. When it comes to the tech and the creativity and the experts, we had a lot that we had to like start cutting down on our ideas a little bit. So yeah.
No, I love that. And I guess, like, as you look ahead, what are your goals and aspirations for the upcoming year in terms of your project's growth and the impact on the refugee communities?
That's a lot. We have a lot in our head, but just joking about that. But yeah, I think in the next let's say next 6 months, that's like very measurable.
Yeah.
We are planning to deploy a new design, and that's going to be happening soon. Like I said, towards the ending of August or earlier on in September, we're going to be deploying new designs into new camps. We're also working with different partners, like I said, and we're looking at internet accessibility for refugees. Like I said, we are literally trying to convert a particular IDP camp into a utopia, like Wakanda version type of place. Every house will be solar powered. Every house would be insulated. Because when we were deploying that, we saw like these guys had a lot of housing issues, and the partners that we're working with, I currently like I designed the solution, and I was like, while I was designing the solution, I was like, what if we partner on this? And my organization does like solar stuff. You guys in the design, I kind of like put you guys should include solar energy, and it was like, okay, that sounds like really cool because it makes everything come together. So yeah, I think in the future I see LightEd adapting to different, because here's the beauty of energy. If you look at from SDG 1 to the 0 part of like SDG 17, you're going to see that you can actually apply energy into, because then everything revolves around energy.
It's true.
So we're looking at partnering with different stakeholders in agriculture, in education. We would want to be vast with our impact, but we want to do it in a very nice, cool way that we design multiple solutions for different stakeholders and partner. We want to have partners in each of the SDGs.
Yeah.
So we're going to have like 17 partners. That's one of our future plans. 17 partners, 17 different SDGs. It could be interconnected in different ways. We might not have up to 17 partners. We might have up to like maybe 10, and they all touch those SDGs or have major focuses on the SDGs. And the reason we want to do this is we want to tell a story that energy has a place in the future, and the way energy is being designed, and we want to design solutions, not just basic. And this is, I spoke to David on this on the previous podcast. We are like trying to design energy solutions that are, I wish I could say some of the ideas we have, but yeah, you would see them when they're out. Some of the ideas we have are like really crazy stuff, and we know when it's out, it's really going to make a lot of noise around like energy development in Africa. And yeah, that's what we're looking towards. We just want to show people that it's not only solar. There are different ways our like forefathers in Africa, like in Nigeria specifically, or in Ghana, there are different ways they used to create energy solutions that have been forgotten.
Yeah.
But if you are able, and this is like really where I'm really good at designing, taking very old concepts,
Yes.
combine with modern tech and come up with something in the middle, something like really, really has this African texture but modernistic like approach and delivery. So yeah, I think we have the great designers in our teams. We are looking towards the partners, and if you want to partner, reach out to us. Yeah, that's what we're looking at in the future, designing more solutions, adapting. Like I said, one of the crazy ideas we're working on right now is how energy can be used for AI monitoring, machine learning, in connection with internet connectivity in refugees and in rural communities, to collect more data and to understand more around what happens in those spaces. So that data can be fed into like the UN systems or so many other systems, and we're looking towards like showing that everything can be lighted. So
I love that, and I love how you're trying to tie in all the like the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals from the UN. I guess like on your partners, you mentioned like the partners there, like if they want to work with you, how do you find partners, and like how do you go about finding them, like selecting your partners to work with?
So when it comes to like selecting, right now, like I said, that mission is something we started just 2 months ago. We started with one partner. The other partners we have is our production process. So that's a totally different from the type of SDG partners we're looking for. And how we did that was we looked at what they have. And we are currently also in talks with like someone in agriculture, and we're looking at what they have, what we have, and how we can integrate that. If what they have and what we have can mix somewhere, and we can't see any way it can mix, and our organizational values differ, then it doesn't work. But if those terms, values in some way linked together, design process linked together, we can make that happen. But we're also very cautious of the people behind the organization. Their track record, what they have been doing, do they actually want to make impact? So those are the things we're looking at, and we're not looking at like how big you have grown. That's not what I mean when we like what you have done. We mean what have you done with the little you have, and how can we help amplify that, not financially, but more of like with tech support and design support. And like I told you, the creative space we're working on going to be focused on that core connecting solutions with different organizations and designing solutions in clean tech and renewable energy sync together with different organizations. Yeah.
Sounds incredible. I hope you're documenting it or your journey, Stanley. I want to see it all, like vlogging, podcast, whatever you're doing, because I want to see this kind of journey of what you're doing. Sounds incredible. I guess like on that, all this great stuff, all this special stuff that you're all working on as a team. How is Stanley? What is your origin story? How did you tell us from how you got here? How did you get here?
So I started like.
Take us back to comic book.
Yeah,
001.
I have to tell my friends, dude, I feel like my story is like from a Hollywood script or something. Yeah, it's like, I think it comes from a place of, I wasn't born into like a really, really super rich house.
Yeah.
We had food to eat. That was enough. My dad had like one car. It was like great. And I'm not going to say I come from a super, super poor background. I know like people that come from super poor backgrounds. But I think it came from a place of I have dreams and I want to do better. But I was also a weird kid. I was extremely weird. Because here's why I was weird is my mom studied physics electronics.
Oh, nice.
So she had like this literally pile of university physics electronic books lying around, and she got me like these 2 encyclopedias. I had my first sketchbook when I was like, I think I was 10. Yeah, I think I was 10. And I would like literally, when I was 6 as well, I think I literally be going through those books, reading about the electronics. And the truth is, after reading about all those things, it was like, it created that spark. I had this interest in engineering.
Yeah.
But weirdly, I was also good in biology.
Oh, no.
I was like really confused about what I wanted. Like I really wanted to be a doctor as well. Because I was good in biology. I wasn't scared of blood.
Yeah.
I knew I could, if our secondary school textbook had like 12 labelings of a toad, I knew 24 labelings because I would read multiple textbooks and find the labeling that is not in this one and include it. So one time my teacher called me and said, you have to just include the labeling in the textbook. You don't need to do 24. Because it then created an avenue. Like if we were writing exams, my classmate would be like, dude, can you give me one of the labelings? And it was like hard to catch people when you do that. But the truth is, I grew up weird. When others like I till now, I am so sorry for saying this. I do not know how to ride a bike. Because I didn't have that time to like play around a lot. I was always weird. I was like wanted to do things that were older, like that were above me. I grew up in a very small street, and that was more of like, it was very, very, very basic. Our city was just known for like trading, so being someone interested in tech was weird. But when my tech journey started was first Iron Man movie when Tony Stark was in the cave. I know this sounds like really cliche, but
love it.
He was in the cave and he was like beating those metals.
Yeah.
And he built the first suit in that cave, and I was like, wow. So I remember I see a lot of junk. My dad had like a car and he has like the spoiled parts. And I started like fascinating about those things. But before that, when I was a kid, I was always curious. My siblings' toys never existed. You know why?
Why?
Because I would break them apart. I remember my sister had this toy doll. Every time you squeeze it, it makes like it talks. And every time I would just literally open and take out the mic. I became an expert in extracting the mic in her Barbie doll. And it was just me being curious. My dad was a filmmaker, and so I took a lot of his cameras apart.
Oh no!
Yeah, that was not like a highlight of my story, but it was the curiosity, and I think that started when I was a kid. I wanted to know how things worked.
Yeah.
And when I got into like secondary school, it got worse because I really just wasn't fitting in anywhere because I knew what I wanted and it wasn't there. After high school, I think we were like broke high school kids. I didn't enter into the university immediately.
Yeah.
And I remember I and my buddies, we wanted to like build a robot, and we were like broke. And I had to like borrow money from all my classmates. Like 30 of them.
Yeah.
Like, and my friend asked me, how are you planning to pay these guys back? And I was like, I would think about it, but before then, I remember that was my first robot. That was the very first robot
Oh
I
wow.
built. But before then, the first time I started like believing in the concept of I can build things was, like I said, my journey is very interesting and it feels like weird. And I believe in fate.
Yeah.
Like being in the wrong place at the right time can change your life, but being at the right place at the wrong time can also change the direction of it. I remember I skipped class.
Okay.
It was economics. I hate economics. So I skipped class and I was like just going to like the back of a building to just chill out till the session was over. Because after that session it would be break time. And I was like, just go and like eat and something. And I was like walking and the basic technology teacher was like, hey, you come here. And I was like, I can run.
Yeah.
I can literally run. And he wouldn't know who I was.
Yeah.
But I think something inside me was like, just don't do it. I went back and he told me I should come while my outside class. That he's going to give me like a punishment to do. And we went inside the lab, the basic technology lab, and he gave me like this mallet and he gave me a sheet and told me I should beat it flat. And I was like beating this thing, like I was like hitting the metal flat.
Yeah.
And I was like looking at the board. He had like designs all over the board. I was like, I asked him what was he building. He said he was building a flood alert system, and I was like, do you know, dude, I started missing all my classes to just go there. And he was like supporting like the whole process.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I started like learning. And then he built the first system. He asked me, can you present? And I was like, yeah, I speak good English and I love science. So, and I did. We went for the first competition. I did really well. And he was like, yeah, you're the guy. You're going to be like presenting. And then I remember when I went rogue, I tried to build my own stuff. He was pissed. He was like, who do you think you are? Do you think you are the inventor now? And this is like, it was like a very chaotic process in school because he was known for building things.
Yeah.
And I was like, at that point, I was like, I want to do my thing. I want to build my own ideas. Then the teacher then took me to, there was another teacher that was kind of his rival. They were vying for that position. And she then saw me and she just took me in and presented me to the principal. This like felt like politics. So I told my life is like, I should literally, because I love filmmaking, I should literally do a film about like just my high school awakening of my like ability to like thinking outside the box. And the principal saw me and he told me if I could build something that if it's good, he would sponsor anything I want to build till I leave the school.
Oh wow.
And I remember the first thing we wanted to build was a hydro energy solution thingy that you just pour in water and it like rotates a turbine, generates energy, and the energy goes back to pouring. So it was like a crazy like weird cycle. I remember the teacher was like that there's no funding now, but I could use my own money. And we did a budget. It was like really expensive.
Wow.
And I remember I sold my provisions. I sold like my milk and tea. I sold it to like another student. And I was like, oh, really? I started like going to the cafeteria more. I didn't go to the cafeteria because I had provisions because I was like, yeah, it's school food. And I was like, but then I became a legend. I had to go every day. And it was a sacrifice. And that's something I learned earlier on.
Yeah.
Learning how to sacrifice.
Yeah.
And then I had a few of my friends that joined me. Then we contributed money with the cash I had. While we were building that solution, I felt ill.
Okay.
Badly, like severely ill. I stayed in the hospital for like a week because it was stressful. Like it was super stressful. And I remember coming back and one of my teammates were like, it felt like the whole Steve Jobs and all those like Mark Zuckerberg kind of story. And it was cute because he told me he can't do this anymore. I should give him back his money, that he's out, that you understand that he needs his money back.
Yeah.
I remember I borrowed the money from someone.
Yeah.
The next day, even though the idea didn't work, the principal saw the stage it was in and was like, how much have we spent? He gave us ×3 of that money back.
Oh wow.
And I was like, so your money is gone now. It's mine because I paid you back. So I took his own return on investment. And that showed me earlier on, you don't give up on things. Don't give up on ideas really quick. I'm going to be like dropping like my lessons between this story because I'm going to wrap it up, but it's quite lengthy. After that, it just went ideas after ideas. The school gave us support. Then before we left high school, that was when we wanted to build the robot.
Nice.
That was supposed to be the big one. The robot was supposed to launch rockets from his hands, spray water from the other hand, like have a siren, rotate the neck and stuff, and move back. And like really very cool robot, but not like wireless. But we would like control it with a very big. We had a very big remote control, and we started building that. I remember I went to 30 different guys, told them, "Hey, I need you to give me like 3,000 naira. I think that's like $3 now."
Okay.
And they were like, "Okay." For us back in high school, that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
That was like that could be your whole term.
Yeah.
Pocket money.
Oh,
And
wow.
I was like, people give me their money. And that's like if you present value, and the idea was I would give them that money times 2. That felt like a weird, like,
Surreal moment.
yeah. And we started working on the idea. Bro, the idea was supposed to be like ready in 2 months. And the idea took like 3 months. And people were calling me. I was like, where's my money? Where's my money? And the idea was the robots, we built the structure and everything, but we found out we made a lot of rookie mistakes. We were trying to cut down on cost and we made a lot of mistakes. And that's something I learned.
Yeah.
You can save a lot of money if you design properly. If you design properly.
That makes sense.
And plan ahead properly.
Yeah.
So we learned that during that process. Like it was tough. And something I learned is we were stubborn. We wanted to do it by ourselves. We knew someone that could have given us the information on what to do to solve the problem. But we were very stubborn. And it cost us money and time. We had to like speak to one of the other students. He was our junior. And I was like, you know what? I'm done with this. We're calling that dude. We called him. He told us. We finished the robot in like the remaining parts that we were expecting to take a week or so. It took us just a day. And we felt really bad because we could have done this earlier. So never you be ashamed to ask for help.
Yeah.
That's something I learned earlier on. Whenever I need help, I'm like, highest you're going to say it's no. That is it.
That's the worst. Yeah.
That's the worst you could say. No, which means next opportunity.
Yeah.
So I go to the next person. If I don't find anyone, there is always a way. Yeah, I'm quite religious. Not too religious, but I'm very religious to the point I know that if God brings you to a certain point, He's going to take you to the rest. Just do your own part. You have to walk. I don't like believing if you sit down, if God says you're going to be great, you're going to be great. No, you have to. If God says you're great, it's a very painful journey.
Yeah.
It's a super painful journey. And I remember like we like finished that and we couldn't get into the university. I wrote the exams multiple times. I failed multiple times. That's when I hit another low. And from that low, I was able to find out that I could actually make money through training other people. Yeah. And that's like when I started learning more around training kids. I don't want to enter into that. That's a different venture I founded when I was like 16. And afterwards, I wrote a scholarship exam. I've written this university entrance exam twice, and I didn't do quite well.
Yeah.
But then I wrote a scholarship exam that was super competitive with 50,000 plus people, and they only select 50. And I was selected. And that was a surreal moment when I was like, wait, I'm writing a university entrance exam that I know you don't need to be super smart to get in, and I didn't get in. Yeah. But then I wrote a scholarship exam and I got in. It's all about the context of what were they looking for. So the scholarship we're looking for people that can adapt. Yeah. People, because the questions are around logical reasoning. And that's why I understand not all opportunities are for you.
It's true.
All. So I'm saying this, if you're applying for Social Shifters Challenge and you don't get selected, don't feel bad. Because the first time I applied, I didn't get selected. So that's true. I applied for the very first challenge and I got rejected. I was like, you know what? It's fine. And weirdly, the refugees, I was like, wow, they just brought out this one. This is perfect. This is exactly the work I'm doing. And this is like a secret thingy, but I applied for like 2 categories, the climate change and refugee challenge. And I got to the finals of the 2, but then I had to like focus on the refugee challenge. And at that point, I was like, wow, I got rejected last year, but this year I got. So it's all about keep on trying. And yeah, I think my journey has been very long. It's a very lengthy story. I can't like summarize it even in 30 minutes. But the truth is, I tried to like touch my key highlight points. the part of my journey, I learned a lot. I learned to ask for help. I learned to be humble enough. If you would meet me and if I was introducing myself in public, I introduce myself in the lamest way possible. That some of my friends are like, it's a lie. This guy has won the World Bank thingy. He has won this. He has won that. But I don't think that's what life is about. I think life is about the learning process, the connection process, the communication process, and like there's this joy about bringing in. Like imagine if you had something in your head and you could like,
Yeah.
it's in reality.
Ideas to reality.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
I think that's the definition of my. Yeah, I think if I would have like a tagline for my story, ideas to reality. That's a good one. So yeah,
Heard it here first, exclusive. So yeah, I love that. So it's been a year since you won the challenge, the Global Innovation Challenge 2022. I guess, how has your project evolved since then? Is there any more collaborators, partners, anything else that you're working with since winning?
Yeah, I think like I said, it's been more around the learning process. We've been like part of different accelerator programs, trying to accelerate in business term. We have been like really not active as a business per se, because we are still trying to find that solution that we can blindly put in shelves and we know it's going to sell. But it's not about the selling of the products. It's also about how do you make social enterprises or social impact projects sustainable. So we have been learning more around the sustainability and designing around the sustainability of the team and the project and the financials. I think a lot of things have changed. Our products have evolved. Like I said, we are launching our new designs by ending of like 1st September. We've built a new prototype and it should be out there soon. Look out, follow us at LightEd page. So so once those are out, and we've learned a lot around how we tell our story.
Amazing.
I think we the funny thing is we have like when it comes like pitching or sharing or representation of the organization, it's just I myself and Onyi Sidikat that does that right now. And the way she tells the LightEd story is so different from the way I tell the LightEd story. The both of us grew up with that problem. She experienced it in a different way than I did. So she doesn't tell the story like our founder Stanley went through this problem. And no, she tells the story. This is how I see the problem. And that's the beauty of LightEd. We want everyone that works in the team have your individual view of that problem.
Love it.
But we all have a singular view of the solution.
Love it.
Yeah.
So since winning as well, the challenge, has it opened up any new opportunities for you?
Yep.
On the international stage?
It has a lot. I think I'll probably like, I don't know if I should say this yet, but I'm probably like going for like some conferences in the US. And I've had the opportunity to like speak at during the World Refugee Day with like Amazon, and it was like super cool.
Shout out Amazon.
And like sometimes I remember that day I was like, I called my mom, like, Mom, I'm going to be speaking to like Amazon employees. But I think the platform has been amazing, and having like on our website right now, we like put Amazon social shifters, and like people are like, how did Amazon so it's like the recognition, the validation, because 100%. when you're speaking to other people and you're like Amazon, because we've had like also Meta,
nice,
like Meta, the World Bank, Amazon, even like we participated in like some Google programs, and it's like when you have those organizations in your portfolio and you say these guys have like either giving us a shout out or provided funding or giving us like different platforms, it's like super chill. Like I remember like 2 years ago I went, I think that's 4 years ago. I went for a pitch and the jury was like, go back to your country, and I was like and that was like really deep. And now I'm like it's like Amazon and this guy. It's really, no matter how you want to ignore the fact that you feel that pride, it's still there. You feel that pride, like these guys validated the work we do, so that means what we are doing is important.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Amazon do some great work and stuff. Obviously, in association with the Global Refugee Challenge. Yes, fantastic. I'm gonna do some quick fire questions. Yeah, so first things that kind of come to your mind. So, who is your favorite Afrobeats artist? Do you know what? Actually, I'm gonna pivot that. Who's your favorite Nigerian artist?
Okay. I think my favorite Nigerian artist. Oh, there's some controversies around him now. That was like I'm checking. Should I be a super diehard fan at this moment? I think when it comes to like the old artists and the new ones, can I divide it like that?
You
Okay.
divide.
So the old ones is Burna Boy.
Yeah.
Burna Boy is like
Nice.
it's like my OG. I feel his music speaks like a lot about like I'm a champion. I have been through a lot and I'm making it. Then someone else that has that same vibe is Fireboy.
Okay.
And he sings with that, and they have they sang like with Ed Sheeran and everything.
Yeah. Peru and
that. So I think Burna Boy and Fireboy.
That makes
it's
sense.
like a Fireboy and Burna Boy, like the boys.
The boys. Yeah, but they're doing their thing right now. Yeah. Your favorite Marvel movie?
No, this is a really tough. Oh God, I think I would just give it to like the Prime, Iron Man 1.
I
like it. I just give it to the Prime. I love all Marvel movies, not all of them. I think I would just give it to the Prime because if I watch the different, what if I watch like God of War that day and I decided to become like a terrorist? But yeah, it was the movie that inspired me a lot, and I remember I've watched that movie. I remember when I was like on my way to London. I remember I watched that movie on the flight again.
Oh,
and
wow.
That would make it like the 9th time I've watched it.
Wow.
So I've probably abused watching that movie a lot. So yeah, I think I'll give it to the Prime. Yeah, Iron Man 1. Yeah.
Iron Man 1, that makes total sense. And your favorite organization could be any type of organization in the world outside of LightEd.
Oh God! If I don't say social shifters, that's okay, right?
Okay, outside of social shifters and outside of the LightEd.
Proper. I would say. Oh, give me a sec. Let me think through this. I think an organization Oh my God, this is tough. I have a lot of nice.
Yeah, there's loads, doesn't it? It could be any. It could be a charity. It could be a business. It could be tech. Whatever you like.
I think I'll go with like. Google. And the reason is like I love the vibe Google comes with, like the energy the employees, like even interning at Google and the energy their interns have, the culture around the organization itself, the colors and what it stands for.
Yeah.
I just like the fun vibe like Google comes with. Yeah, apart from Google, I actually use a Google Pixel, so but yeah, I think it's Google.
What's your best piece of advice for anyone entering the Global Innovation Challenge?
Yeah, I think the advice is not like the best, but because you could literally have different approaches to tell. I think have a really good presentation video. Like, I know it's optional. It's optional.
Yeah, it's optional. Yeah,
but it is essential because I feel like my video probably communicated what we were doing better than what I could write. So tell your story in a way that the viewer would want to watch it again.
Yeah.
Sometimes I apply for things and they say you only have to put like 2 minutes video, and I put like 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and I still get selected. I'm not saying you should over like do that. Please respect the time. But the truth is, if your content is really good, people will buy into it. But also knowing the balance of like this, what we spoke about earlier, the balance of storytelling and traction communication.
Yes.
Communicate the numbers. Yeah. Communicate the impact. Tell the story from your perspective, from the person that you are doing the work with, the person you're doing the work for, and whoever is supporting you. Clearly articulate all this in a proper video, but then also articulate in a proper writing. Always know how to like use your word limits properly. Don't overemphasize on one part of the story. Just go straight to the point. If it's especially problem definition, go straight to the point.
Yeah.
Go clear with the numbers. Go clear to, if this problem continues, this is what's going to happen. Emphasize on the momentum of the problem. Your solution, tell how unique it is. Explain the impact it's making and the impact it's going to make, and communicate future goals. Then also find a way to put in yourself. And I think this is something like a lot of young people should know. Don't sound like a robot.
Yeah.
Also don't sound like a child storybook. Find a balance between a robot and a child storybook. That would give you a
I
proper
like it.
story. Yeah.
Child story, I like it.
But yeah, I think probably just take that crazy first step. And
Yeah.
even if you don't get selected, walk. Don't work because you want to apply for the social shifters challenge. Work because you want to do what you want to do. And don't think that if you get the funding, it means like your organization is going to like grow as big. You have to do a lot of, like I told you, I had that euphoria moments when I knew like, hey, you have funding. We have like a lot of funding like that in our pipeline, but we were like, yo, let's chill a bit. Let's understand what we're doing. So just clearly communicate and tell your story. I think there is no secret sauce.
Public speaking is something that most people are terrified of. Like the majority. I think there's those studies, don't there? That's like most people's greatest fear in life, which is even some above death for some people, which is how would you advise someone to become more comfortable with public speaking?
I used to be like super shy.
Yeah.
Speaking with on stage, but then I remembered, for example, like the conversation we're having right now. This is how I would have a conversation. If I was having a conversation with you.
It's true.
Not because it's a podcast, but because I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
So most of the times we forget that we are pitching. I remember during my pitch, because if you get selected, you have the second phase where you have to pitch as a finalist. My camera, I think my internet, had a glitch.
Okay.
And I was like panicking. And I was like, oh no. I remember when it came back immediately, they were like, you have like 30 seconds. Do you know what I did? I just like told them, this is why you should select us. I know I couldn't answer your questions, but really believe in what we do, because this is what we do is going to do in the future. This is how we're going to change people's life. So when you're talking to, remember you're talking to people. Yeah. Those people that you're talking to are either someone's mom, someone's dad, someone's parent. When you're throwing words at them, imagine, okay, let me just show you something. Yeah. Hello, my name is Stanley. I am from Nigeria. I'm super excited to be here. I sound like a very like bland person. Like it's like I'm throwing the words at you, but like, hello, my name is Stanley. Super excited to be here. Well, honest, you get like there's a different
feel, isn't it? Yeah, the
vibes
different.
Yeah, vibes differently. If you're a shy person, use that to your advantage. It's like, true. Hi, my name is Stanley. Super excited. Take your time. If you're super like fast, you could be like, hello, my name is Stanley. But I like you. Like, it's all about the rhythm. So I think for everyone that wants to be a public speaker, or anyone that wants to be a public speaker, know your tone, know your speed, find a rhythm. Yeah. It's like a music. It's like music. When you're speaking, like when you're listening to Burna Boy songs like just like a very slow beat. But then when you're listening to Eminem, it's like you still could vibe to the tone. Exactly. You're just knowing your rhythm, knowing your tone. Yeah. Like finding that really nice spot that people would connect with you, and you connect with people as people, not as opportunities.
No, great advice. Thanks so much today, Stanley, for coming back. It's been amazing to have you back. Your story is truly inspiring, incredible. There's so much gems in this episode, and we're definitely going to link up all of your socials and everything in the description, because people need to follow LightEd and follow yourself and learn more about your story and your journey. So thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. Bro. Super excited.
Thank you. Take care.
If you want to learn more about social shifters and how we can help you to impact the social or environmental issues that matter to you most, subscribe to our YouTube channel or find us on Instagram and Spotify.